All right, the next health adaptation here in this particular video learning episode upgrades your cellular power plants. An organelle inside the human cells, and millions all over your body and mind, called mitochondria. We're going to look at mitochondria health and ATP. That stands for a molecule that you can see floating on the screen. It's two images that look almost identical, except one's dull right below me, and one's very bright on the other side. And it's called ATP, adenosine triphosphate. Let's look at what mitochondria are. So they produce energy inside the human body. Incrementally, as you increase your oxygen efficiency score, and we call them the power plants, these mitochondria organelles. So they're organelles inside the human body, and they look like the ones you see on the screen here. And their role and function, amongst many things, is to produce energy. The more ATP molecules, the faster it can produce those volume of ATP molecules, the more energetic you feel. Since I've increased my VO2 Max score over time in the recent years, I cannot tell you how more energetic I actually feel. It's noticeable, but it's noticeable because of what you see on the screen here. Look at the first one. It's dull. The ATP molecules are being produced more slowly. Low ATP production and high oxidative stress when you have a low VO2 max. It generates excess free radicals in your body, particularly throughout all of your cells, which you don't want. It contributes to cellular aging by having an inefficient powerhouse, mitochondria. So you've got mitochondria in every cell of the human body that look like that. And it leads to fatigue and low energy. I didn't want that as I got older. I want the opposite. I want to wake up fresh. And I can tell you it actually works. It's so noticeable in real life. If you get a higher VO2 max score, a higher oxygen efficiency score incrementally over time, depending on where you're starting, you will have higher, faster rates and a higher volume of ATP, adenosine triphosphate, this molecule that is actually energy. What it does is it maximizes clean energy by having a more efficient mitochondria. It protects you from cellular damage, the opposite of the one on the other side of the screen, and it boosts your physical and mental state. That is unquestionable to me. That's a great position statement from a science-backed, evidence-based education. But to experience that in real life like I have, I cannot encourage you enough to go out and pursue a high VO2 max to upgrade your cellular power plants. You can come back if you're already a person that's doing it, put that in the comments below and how much you feel better than you used to. And if you're a person who's new, as you pursue a higher VO2 max and you start to achieve it, what I want you to do is to come back and put that in the comments. Come back to this video and tell me that that's what's happening to you. All right, everybody. That's fantastic. Upgrade your cellular power plants. Go out and do that by becoming a longevity builder. All right, next health adaptation. As a result, there over on the far card this time is the oxygen efficiency beating heart, the number of heartbeats per minute as I'm doing a physical activity session, which I'm not doing now. This is recorded from earlier off my data, off my watch, and the percentage of my maximum heart rate response that's next to it. I love this one. The arterial renovation project, nitric oxide and endothelial function. We just talked about that somewhat in the last section of health adaptation, but this is one all by itself. I've got to separate this one out. As you go from being a teenager into your 20s, let's say from 15 years of age to the age of 25, if you're in that bracket right now, your arteries at 15 are in that red pulsating image you can see there. Your arteries are in the green one, I should say, when you're 15, in the green one, your arteries are very, very flexible. They have a lot of what's called the Goldilocks molecule, which I love that description, which is you get more every time you have the correct dose of physical activity as measured by your VO2 max, and you increase your VO2 max score over time. Every time you use the correct dose of physical activity to achieve that outcome, you increase on a daily basis the number of nitric oxide molecules that get secreted into your blood vessels all over the human body. And those nitric oxide molecules signal the artery wall to relax, widen, and promote healthy circulation. Now, What happens if you're a person who does not pursue becoming a longevity builder and does not have a high oxygen efficiency score? This is one of the negative adaptations that will happen to every single person. If you start out at 15, you're in the green blood vessel. But between 15 and 25, it slightly moves towards the red blood vessel. All your blood vessels do, where they become stiffer and less flexible. Now, from 15 to 25, that arterial stiffness and the unhealthy artery, that's just a little bit. You can't notice it, you can't feel it, you can't see it. But from 25 to 35, it's even more. Then from 35 to 45, it's even more. And then from my age, from 45 to 55, actually, I'm outside that age now. Okay, from 55 to 65, each decade, you get a more stiffer arterial network, a more inflexible. That is dangerous, deadly dangerous. It drives heart attacks and strokes, particularly drives, when I spoke to Dr. Alta Shute, who's also a professor, is a world-leading research doctor and researcher in vascular medicine. When I spoke to her, she used to be the president of the World Hypertension Association. She's here at Sydney University, originally from South Africa. When I spoke with Dr. Shute, she was talking about arterial stiffness being one of the main drivers of high blood pressure. And high blood pressure, make no mistake about it, causes catastrophic cardiovascular events like strokes in the brain and heart attacks unexpectedly. They're not unexpected because the process of arterial stiffening, think about the age you are right now. Look at all the decades behind you if you have got some decades behind you. You're not a young person. You've got arterial stiffness if you don't have a high oxygen efficiency score. Guaranteed. But here's the great thing about it. The Arterial Renovation Project, incrementally go out and pursue becoming a longevity builder. Use all the tools that we have and the ones that we've got in development now before my 60th birthday as I record this. This is in 2025. Depends when you're watching it. I'm 60 in April 2026 when we release a whole suite of new tools are under development. But if you don't pursue becoming a longevity builder, you are going to progress from a healthy, flexible artery to a stiff artery. But you can go back if you pursue being a longevity builder and do basically what it says on the screen there with that beating heart with oxygen efficiency, use the correct dose of physical activity to improve your VO2 max. Improve your VO2 max, improve your VO2 max. That's what I've done, particularly over the last couple of years. All right, that's the Arterial Renovation Project. Let's look at the next one. The anti-plaque defense health adaptation as a result of you improving your oxygen efficiency score. Real-time oxygen efficiency. So you can see the changing heart rate. This was an easier physical activity session for me, the data that's recorded on the screen here. So what happens here is you can see the heart animation changing. And as it's changing, this was a long physical activity session, which I don't do many very long ones. So my heart rate was lower. But this is my body creating health adaptations in real time by using the correct dose of physical activity. But what does that mean? It's combating a disease that I mentioned earlier in this video series called atherosclerosis. Sorry, I said that wrong again. Atherosclerosis. I put the L at the start of the word when it should be towards the back end. Atherosclerosis. What does that mean? Look at the data. Look at the animation first of the blood vessel. You can see on a loop here that it's building plaque, like the plaque person gets on their teeth over time. But this time it's inside your blood vessels. If you have a low oxygen efficiency score, this happens more frequently, more locations, and more dangerously throughout the human body. So atherosclerosis is the buildup of fats and cholesterol, plaque in your artery walls. By the time you're in your early 20s, it's already begun. You can't feel it. I know that's hard to believe, but it's already begun. This buildup can harden and narrow your arteries, restricting blood flow. Over time, a plaque can rupture and burst. So that yellow stuff comes in and it's squeezing the blood flow. But if it bursts, it can then cause a serious cardiovascular event, which we'll see in the next adaptation. So what happens is, if you incrementally become a longevity builder and raise your VO2 max score, you will start to get decreased inflammation and more molecules in the blood vessels that slow the progression of plaque development. And that's very, very exciting. One of the reasons that I'm pursuing such a high VO2 max for my age and gender is I want the best anti-plaque defense. Because I'll tell you now, there are medications that you can go to for a doctor and a cardiologist to prevent, or not prevent, to help drive down plaque development. But I sat with Professor Ulrich Wisloff from the Faculty of Medicine in the Cardiac Exercise Research Group at the Norwegian University of Science and Technology. Professor Wisloff, one of the most experienced doctors in the world, PhDs in the world, at understanding how to translate the correct dose of physical activity, what you see on the screen and the heartbeats below me, across to driving down your clinical complications from the risk of plaque development. Higher your oxygen efficiency. He said, that's what he said to me. There's no medication in the world that's as powerful as having a high VO2 max. That's why I pursue it. The man and his team of researchers at the university there, along with other people around the world, but he and his team have been one of the focal points at researching millions of people to prove what I'm just talking about on the screen is actually happening. You get yourself into the mode of thinking like a longevity builder. Get into the world that we're in, raising your oxygen efficiency score. And you'll see a decreased risk in the clinical complications from the buildup of plaque or atherosclerosis. I'm saying it wrong every time, inside your arteries. And you want to do that. Because when I talked earlier in this video episode about my father passing away at 46 years of age, it's this, what you see on the screen. Atherosclerosis developed in his body way back in his early 20s, possibly before, at a rapid rate. One of them ruptured, a plaque ruptured and burst and went and caused something that you're going to see in the next adaptation. All right, everybody, let's move on to that one right now. All right, this is a similar adaptation related to the last one, but different. It's a follow-on, if you like. All right, there's the dynamic heart, real-time oxygen efficiency happening. I'm using the correct dose of physical activity. I cannot stay. I know I say it on every adaptation I'm talking about here, but I can't say it enough. You got to go do it. That's what I'm doing at the start of this video episode when I was across the road from my house in the park. I was causing my body to incrementally improve my oxygen efficiency score so I can get it to the target that I've got by the age 60. As I record this, I'm not 60. I'm about 9 months away from being 60 years old when I turn it in April 2026, depending on when you're watching it. Okay, look at that one over there. Promoting healthy heart flow. Oh, the heading, the anti-thrombotic defense. So not the anti-plaque defense, the anti-thrombotic defense. Anti-thrombotic defense, the anti-thrombotic effect. All right. As a plaque ruptures, it causes a clot. If it clots in the main artery of your heart, you'll have a heart attack and you can die on the spot. Many people I've interviewed have had one of these blood clots from a ruptured plaque, but got to the emergency room fast enough to have open heart surgery to get this fixed. That's what you got to do if it gets that bad. And you'd be surprised. You're going to listen to my audio podcast. You hear some of the people I've interviewed where this has happened to them. It's frightening. The most, I guess, well-known is a former Olympic gold medalist, Duncan Armstrong, who I think it was 52 or 53 years of age, a couple of years ago now, not long ago. This happened to him. He had a major heart attack and had to have open heart surgery to correct the blood flow in his heart. Now, raising your oxygen efficiency score has an anti-thrombotic defense effect because it reduces the clinical complications from the risk of this happening. Can it prevent it totally? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it'll reduce your risk of clinical complications. Antithrombosis refers to, let me the notes on the bottom of that animation of the blood clot, refers to the prevention of blood clots or thrombus. Maintaining healthy blood flow is crucial for preventing strokes and heart attacks. Regular physical activity, the correct dose, improves circulation and reduces the risk of clots. Once again, you get all of these molecules happening inside your body, which lower the risk of a rupture, lower the risk of a thrombus happening to you. If you do get one, you could be like my father and pass away on the spot. His was so severe. And that's random Russian roulette luck. You know that game, Russian roulette? I've seen it on TV. Someone puts a gun to their head with one bullet in the chamber, pulls it, and survives. It's next one. Boop, survives. That's Russian roulette. You may survive, or the next bullet up, it might be one in the chamber that goes into the inside of your head. That's a bit of a graphic story, but that's the Russian roulette. You don't want to be a person that gets thrombosis. You don't want to be a person at risk of the clinical complication, at high risk of the clinical complications from a thrombosis happening to you in your heart or in your neck, which leads the blood supply to your brain. What you want to do is do what the first card says on the screen here. Improve your real-time oxygen efficiency score. I do that every single day. Become a longevity builder. All right, everybody, let's go to I think we got maybe one or two, couple more health adaptations. By the way, these adaptations that I'm talking about here, they are a snippet, only a snippet of all of the ones that I'll share with you in my Longevity Builder book that's coming out. It'll be officially released with the publisher in April 2026. These are only a snippet. There's so many more. But I love teaching about this stuff because you need to know. You need to get deep knowledge in order to get deep engagement in wanting to improve your personal physical health status so you can be a longevity builder is a person who is at low clinical risk of complications from chronic disease, like the big four: excess weight, complications from that, complications from catastrophic cardiovascular events like we've been talking about, complications from high blood sugar, which we're going to talk about, and complications from metabolic syndrome, which we talk about as well. All right, on to the next adaptation. All right, everybody, let's finish this video learning episode here on the channel right now. Between now and April 2026, so if you're listening to this and watching this after April 2026, what I'm about to go through has already happened. But I'm recording this before April 2026 when I turn 60 years old. And I want to share with you the brand new Longevity Builder ecosystem, or at least a snippet of it here as we wind up. You've seen me talk about the oxygen efficiency, and you can see the percentage heart rate max there changing. We have a technology that we're going to give you that you can actually get access to now if you go to the link in the notes here, or depending on where you're watching this, it could be in the first comment if it's on YouTube, or if it's on LinkedIn, or if it's on Instagram. We've got it across all different channels, Facebook, and if it's on the audio podcast, there's a link to be able to get access to our oxygen efficiency technology, the free version that tracks your oxygen efficiency as measured by your VO2 Max. That's been clinically validated by the team over in Norway from the Faculty of Medicine at the Norwegian University of Science and Technology. So that's available to you. That's the card where you see on the screen here with oxygen efficiency and the heart rate. Then in the middle there, I'm building, writing, putting together, synthesizing right now, learn how to become a longevity builder. The one science-based tactic to radically extend your life and why it's simpler than you think. That's the subtitle. I'm really pouring a lot of energy with a writing team, not a group of publisher, but a publishing team as well. We're putting some great effort into that particular piece of work because we want that to be the centerpiece of where everything else begins. You can see down below there a pulsating screen, if you like. Welcome to the Longevity Builder Health Lab. I don't want to go through all of what this technology is about, but I'm putting together a tracking technology with my software development team that helps you to track your medical longevity. More on what that is in another video episode, not this one. That's just a little snippet introduction, tracking your medical longevity, and also putting together behind that tracking system a brand new, never before seen type of education tool, a learning tool for people to use, whether it's from their laptop, their desktop, from their mobile phone, but a brand new longevity builder learning ecosystem. That's probably the best way to describe it, which is why I put that heading here, new ecosystem. So I wanted to finish off by telling you that's what's coming. That's what we're putting together with my software development team, my publishing team, and also some education technology that has not been invented before. We've got some people coding the software right now that tracks your medical longevity, and we've got some people coding a brand new type of learning ecosystem that's literally never been done before. All right, can't wait. See you soon at the next video learning episode. Bye for now.